A lot of momentum, gigantic wins last night, West Virginia, Nebraska. He's the last man standing on the Republican Party, and we're very, very pleased to welcome the one and only Donald J. Trump. Mr. Trump, congratulations on a big night last night. The Fox News exit polls, you had to like everything about the exit polls, including about 90% of Republican voters think it's likely that you'll beat Hillary. That's a remarkable statistic. You never get credit for a number like that, do you?
No, you never do. It's sort of interesting. What was a really good poll is that 30% of Bernie's fans, the people that were with Bernie, are going to vote for me when they have the chance to vote for me versus Bernie,
right,
if that ever happens. So that's a good stat, too. But, no, they're two great states. I've been there. I spent a lot of time there. Nebraska is incredible. And West Virginia, you know, the miners, they have to be taken care of. Hillary was disastrous, what she said. And I'm the opposite. We're going to put the miners back to work. We're going to open up the mines. We're going to put the miners back to work. Hillary said exactly the opposite, and then she tried to counter and apologize for it, but I think it was a little bit late.
And she's in it up to her eyeballs right now. I mean, there are reports all over the place about this FBI investigation with the email server scandal and everything. If something big were to happen, and some of us have a theory that Joe Biden will emerge as sort of the white knight for the Democrats, because even Democrats don't want to have a socialist represent their party. I mean, who would Donald Trump rather face in the general election? Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, or Joe Biden?
I don't know that it matters. I do think that it's getting tougher and tougher for Hillary because she's lost a lot of even if she's, because it's a rigged deal. I mean, she's got these super delegates that were handed to her, and so she should win anyway, but she's losing every week. I mean, every single week she loses. So it's a rigged deal, and then if she doesn't get, if she doesn't have to go through the process with respect to the email scandal, that's a rigged deal too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's got a lot of problems, and she's lost a lot of the mojo. It'd be hard for her, with all of these losses, one after another, for her to go and run. I don't know. It doesn't seem to make sense. But whichever one it is, I don't care.
You have a big week, obviously. Tomorrow you're meeting with Speaker Ryan. I interviewed Bill Bennett shortly after Paul Ryan told a reporter he wasn't quite ready to endorse you. Bill, of course, was one of Speaker Ryan's mentors. He said he was pretty shocked by Speaker Ryan's response. How confident are you, Mr. Trump, that after you meet with Ryan tomorrow, he's going to come out and support you?
Well, first of all, Bill Bennett's a really good guy, and I've known him, and he's just a tremendous guy, and so it's nice that he says that because I was a little bit surprised myself, but I think it'll work out. I really do. I think Paul Ryan loves the party, loves the country, and he wants to see something happen that's going to be positive, and he sees my poll numbers now, which are really going up rapidly, and I think he really wants to do something positively, but we'll see tomorrow.
Good luck with that, because that's going to be big. Yeah, I'm getting, you can appreciate, those of us who are supporting you enthusiastically get blasted regularly by the Never Trump crowd. I've noticed how obsessed some of them seem to be with trying to stop you. It almost feels like an obsession. Why do you think it's so personal for many of them? I mean, some of these are self-described conservatives. Brett Stevens over at the Wall Street Journal, who now advocates openly for Hillary. I mean, some of this stuff seems to be really over the top.
Well, I can't exactly explain it. I've had tremendous success, and I'm an outsider, and I'm going to shake up the system for the better, and we're going to make great trade deals. And, like Brett Stevens he's made a lot of mistakes over the years, a lot of bad calls, tremendously bad calls. And, you look at some of the things he's advocated for, not just people, but things, and he's been so wrong about so many things. So, I have him, who I don't know at all. I don't know if I've ever met him. I guess I maybe did once. Mm-hmm. But you have other people too. Charles Krauthammer is just never stops. It's no matter what. If you win by 98%, he'll say, "Oh, he didn't get 100%." There's just people, and they have it in their mind. And don't forget, they all said I wasn't going to run.
Right. They all said you couldn't get the nomination. Right. They all said you wouldn't get over 30%. Right. I mean, to be quite honest, the same people who say you can't win in the general election are the same ones who were convinced you couldn't do any of the things you've done this year.
Well, I saw one of them really dismayed yesterday because the polls came out that I'm beating Hillary in Ohio and I'm tied in Pennsylvania, and I'm tied in Florida.
Yep.
And I haven't even started there yet. And this one man said, wow, that's too bad. He's like a Republican. It's like, I said to myself, that's just horrible. But look, who knows? I mean, I think I understand some of it, but a lot of it's that they've been so wrong. They said I wasn't going to run. Then when I ran, they said I wasn't going to do well. Then when I got 8% the first week or so, they said, well, that's the ceiling. And then every week it went up. And, I've been number one since I announced, a few weeks after I announced. And it's been an amazing period of time. I've really enjoyed it.
When you stop and think about one man who really has never run for public office, like Reince Priebus told me this week, and I thought that was an important reminder. He said, listen, this is a guy who's he's never had a political machine before. And he, like I said, is the last man standing. Again, people fail to give credit where credit is due, and it's incredibly frustrating, which brings us to Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. They've played an interesting role in your candidacy lately. Senator Cruz doesn't sound inclined to support you, yet this morning on the Today Show on NBC, here's what Senator Rubio had to say about you.
I don't want Hillary Clinton to win. Donald Trump is the only other choice on the ballot. I recognize that. I have a pledge to support the nominee on top of it, and I intend to keep it. And what I don't intend to do is spend the next 6 months, by the way, taking shots at Donald. Whether we like it or not, he has earned the right to make his case to the American people. He earned it at the ballot box, and I'll respect that.
Mr. Trump, that seems like a pretty honorable thing for Senator Rubio to do, right?
I think so, and I think he did the right thing, and I appreciate that. And I think eventually Ted Cruz will also come along. They signed pledges. Everybody signed pledges. Now, Jeb Bush dishonored his pledge. I mean, he dishonored his pledge. I mean, he signed a pledge. And if you remember, they all wanted me to sign it, so I signed it.
Right.
But that's a pledge that's a guarantee. There's no outs. It doesn't say subject to me liking Donald Trump or anything. And, Jeb Bush spent $12 million on negative ads on me. And then after he spent it, I started hitting him very hard. And then they said Trump was mean. But I wasn't mean. I mean, he spent $12 million hitting me with phony negative ads. They weren't even true. So, I had a right to do what I did, and it was tough, and he left the race, and then he said he's not going to endorse me, and I said, well, then you violated your pledge.
Right.
And I think he said, well, he doesn't care. Well, that's not supposed to be. That's not a man of honor when you violate your pledge.
There seems to be a formula, Mr. Trump, that happens with your candidacy. It's happened all year. The more people throw at you, the more popular you become with the people who matter, the voters. Is there a part of you that hopes that this cycle continues all the way through November?
Well, I think unity would be a good thing. I mean, I look forward tomorrow to the meeting with Paul, and hopefully that'll work out. And look, if it doesn't, I'll continue to go my way. But I think it will, and I think unity is better, and it gives us a better chance. Maybe a little better, maybe a lot better, but it gives us a better chance to beat probably Hillary.
Well, we will see. You're the consummate deal maker, no question about it. It's an attribute millions of Americans appreciate about you. How do you seal the deal in final here? How do you seal the deal with people who are on the fence with you, who say, I'm not quite sure, he's never done this before? How do you win them over?
Well, they're coming along. I mean, we're going to make great trade deals. We have horrible deals right now. Our country is being taken to the cleaners. We're going to fix up our military and make it strong, really strong, so nobody messes with us. We're going to take care of our vets. We have so many things. We're going to have a very, very strong border. The border is going to be unbelievably powerful and strong. And that's what we have to have. Otherwise, we don't have a country. We're going to get rid of Obamacare and replace it with something much better and for much less money. It's a disaster, Obamacare. So, all of these things, I'm going to save the Second Amendment, which is under siege. Hillary wants to she wants to abolish the Second Amendment, take away everybody's guns. And can't do that. Not today, you can't, not ever. And we've got a lot of things going, I think, that are very good.
Well, we know how many directions you're pulled in, and we're always very grateful when you can take time to join us here on the Mike Gallagher Show. All the best, Mr. Trump. Stay safe and stay well.
Mike, and you've been so nice. It's an honor to do it, believe me.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Take care, Mr. Trump.
So long.
Bye-bye. Okay, your reaction to Donald Trump here on the